This is the introduction Bedrock video to the quest of us speedrunning the Bedrock item in the summer 2019. This has been a difficult video for me to make. This is the first narrated video I've ever made, and I'm hoping that you guys will enjoy it. Bedrock is something that we are all familiar with. It's one of the first blocks you discover in Minecraft when you dig all the way to the last layers of Minecraft in the overworld. The first time you see it, it's an indestructible block that is kind of annoying, and it blocks your path for going deeper. But the block itself have been broken, but never been able to attain as an item. Players wanted to get the item itself so they could use it to create better farms, to speedrun it, to create barriers against other players in PvP. But no one has ever been able to achieve getting the item for over 10 years of Minecraft's existence. And this summer, we managed to do it. The idea that you could get the Bedrock item actually started probably all the way back in beta of Minecraft 1.8. You can even see it in the video where one of the players being attacked by an enderman that is holding the Bedrock item in its hand. And given that later on endermen could drop the blocks they were holding, back in beta when the endermen first introduced, they could pick up the Bedrock blocks, but they couldn't drop any block they were holding. That was introduced much later. So it was kind of a sad side effect where they fixed so that endermen dropped the blocks they were holding, but at the same time the loot table for what blocks endermen could pick up wouldn't be part of the Bedrock, so that you could never get the Bedrock block. So some people thought of using version control, but that was kind of a cheaty idea. Also, beta was actually not part of the Minecraft release of any released version. And then other ideas came along with where you could mine the block. Funny enough, if you could silk touch the block, you could actually get the Bedrock block, but reading the code you can easily see that you can't ever mine the block and make it drop. It's just not possible. There is just a simple check in the code that prevents you from mining the block, even if you mine it forever. Then there was ideas using TNT, using multiple explosions to compound the TNT effect to make the Bedrock break and then pop as an item. But there is no compounding effect when it comes to TNT. So that was a busted idea as well. A really heavy blow to the attainment of the Bedrock item came in one of 1.9 pre-releases, one of the snapshots. There was a new method to generate Bedrock using the end pillar in the end, where the dragon could be resummoned. And given that this new trick was easy to reproduce and just using end crystals, the player could make the bug of getting the Bedrock to drop. And a new bug report was made where it was stated that the player could easily obtain the Bedrock. Because of that, this bug report was assigned to Jeb, and in the comment section he left this comment stating that he can't find all the glitches where the Bedrock can be attainable, so he basically prevented the item from ever dropping. This change that was then later implemented into 1.9 made it quite difficult to obtain the item, and yet so far, past 1.8, no one knows of a good way to get the item. A lot of ideas floated around the Bedrock item, but not a lot of them had any substance. Until Myren, a really talented technical Minecrafter, showed an explanation of the piston bugs related to specific update order of how pistons worked. February of 12th in 2017, he shows a video where he breaks an obsidian block in a strange way that makes the obsidian drop as an item instead of preventing the slime from pushing. It was some glitch where he manages to trick lava into turning obsidian and breaking it and launching it as an item. This trick sparked an idea in his comment section where multiple people thought of the Bedrock item immediately. And one of the comments left in his comment section was Matthew Bolan, where he asked specifically, isn't it possible to use some glitch with water and the end pillars in the end, similar to how Panda4994 had generated the end pillars in the end in one of his technical videos, where he had managed to generate end pillars, and at the top of the end pillars there's one single bedrock. Maybe you could glitch the Bedrock to drop similar to how Myren showed making the obsidian drop as an item. So this idea sparked an interest, but even Matthew's comment got a reply from Myren saying, I don't think it's that easy to control where the obsidian pillar will generate. So there was an idea, but it was kind of a difficult one. So even more time passed, and the idea that floated around in the comment section of Myren's video, it has actually spread, and a lot more players knew about the idea now. But there was no attempt made until EdExample on the 3rd of April 2018 at least did a good attempt of getting the Bedrock item. Given it was now in 2018, no other tech server that ever played on 1.8 and no one attempted to downgrade for the Bedrock item. This was just an amusing idea, and EdExample showed a device where he placed water where the Bedrock would generate on top of end pillars, and then used a clever mechanic to push slime and break the water block, and at the same time when the Bedrock would generate. Making this contraption could somehow glitch the game to drop the Bedrock as an item, and making this device was one of the first steps towards getting the item. But there was a major flaw in Ed's machine, and this was made kind of apparent in his description in his video, where he basically detailed that the device would need to be rebuilt multiple times because it was an only 1 in 3,000 chance of being able to get the item. On average, you would have to build the device thousands of times, and you would have to generate many chunks around your world, bloating your world and making the contraption quite impractical. So yet again, the Bedrock item stayed elusive. More inventions and discoveries were made over time, 2 specific ones relevant to the obtainment of the Bedrock item. One of them was the chunk save state. It could reset a chunk and repopulate a chunk, where the chances of obtaining the item was low. You could at least reuse the device over and over instead of bloating the world and re-attempting it elsewhere. So you could use the save state in a really practical way to get the item. But at the time when the invention was made, no tech servers played on 1.8, so no one actually attempted it. The other big invention was RNG manipulation, but there is a flaw in RNG manipulation, and that's that it requires a structure to reset the RNG. The problem here was that Ed's machine needed RNG manipulation to control where the end pillar would generate. That would remove the randomness and reduce the chances of failure, so you wouldn't have to rebuild the device thousands of times. You would only need to build it once. But the problem here was that the RNG manipulation required the structures, the end cities that was added in 1.9. Problem is kind of obvious. The item no longer dropped in 1.9, meaning that it was basically the same problem as with the endermen. There was now a way to get the RNG element out of the way, but no way to actually get the item in 1.9. It was only possible to get the item in the lower versions where structures didn't exist in the end. The summer 2019, I was goofing around with the idea that maybe it's possible to get the item in 1.12 because most tech servers played in 1.12 and they didn't want to downgrade to 1.8 to get the item. It was just an impossible item, and in 1.12 it made it even more difficult. There was a silly idea floating around that you could possibly get the item using falling entities, but it quickly devolved to complex problems that probably required low-level modding. But Matthew contacts me and then he says, I'm working on this lattice code that is possible to use for RNG manipulations and whatnot. And I'm thinking, maybe that could actually be used to get the item in 1.8, because there was an RNG problem that was having to solve the RNG element of the whole getting the item. So I tell him, Matthew, let's just downgrade to 1.8 and get the Bedrock item. How difficult can it be? Let's just downgrade, quickly do some RNG magic with the lattice code that he's working on, and it shouldn't be that difficult. We can even make it into a speedrun. And Matthew loves the idea. He's been wanting to do a speedrun on getting the item, and me, that I'd been trying to get the item in 1.12, seemed like a perfect idea to just quickly go down to 1.8. And that summer, we decided to go down to 1.8, and it took far longer to get the item. And the story of what will happen next, that's a story for another time. Okay, someone please go make a proper connector! This is such a garbage machine, what is this? What is this garbage? Someone please turn off the stick machine, because it's the only thing that is working here. I'm gonna turn the lever on and we're ready to go. You guys will check on stream if I do any mistakes. What? Okay. Something went wrong.
Feels bad.
I'm creative.
Let's go, 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 go! Oh my god, it worked!
Did it work?
Yes, it did work!
Where's the bedrock?
There is no one god, actually, is there! It's fully survival.
Go, 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 go,
Focus on.
Go, go, go,
Okay, okay,
go, go,
okay.
go, 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 go.
I can still not hear it. I can see something in the distance.
It's working.
Oh my god!
Can we do it? We did it.
This is survival
Bedrock
too.
are playing in vanilla. For life.
Anyways, we are all here to speedrun Bedrock. Obviously, it's the unattainable item. Oh my god, stop killing me. And we're going to have three teams that run off and do 3 different tasks. One team is going to get the pearls. One team is going to get this, get into a swamp and get slime because we need the slime. And obviously, we also need the blaze because we need those Eye of Enders. Hopefully, at the very end of the whole process, we're going to see a bedrock item, or we're going to fail miserably. Oh, you gotta be kidding me, withers. Oh, I got a skull. I got a skull. Oh my god. Can you put the wither skull on and become a little bit more visible? You will go through after we have synchronized the clock with the door. Then we will go through. Okay. You can open the gate now. Make sure you're not standing on the frame. Get off the frame. Open the gate.
Which one?
Open, open, open.
Oh my god.
5 seconds.
Rocket launch.
3, 2, 1. Go, 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 go. Send the cards, send the cards.
Sent.
Send the card.
I sent them.
If we make a mistake here,
Yeah.
it's bad. Really bad. Every minute counts here.
Can drop the items down, right? Yeah, that's
Oh shit!
What happened?
Uh-oh. Don't kill me.
I'm starting. Let's go. Turn these 2 on. 2, 4, 8, and 16. All of them. Let's go. Go, go, go.
Come, good news.
Good news! Good news! I know it already. It doesn't work.
I love this game.
Expect
I
this to
love this game.
Yes!
I almost hoped it happened.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Another one tomorrow.
Oh my god! You have to be kidding with me.
Or not.
Yes, yes, you can.
Yes, you can. Oh my god! Don't spoil it! Don't spoil it! No spoiler! Oh my god!
We have the backup. We have the backup. Do it. Do it.
What? Oh my god! Don't tell me we didn't spread the books! Oh my god! We didn't spread the books!
Can I log in?
Good news, everyone! You can do it again! I can't. This bedrock is never gonna be tamed ever!
That makes
Good news!
crap. I got it. Wonderful news.
Oh my god! Yes, you gotta be kidding me!
Good news.
No, back it up.
Oh my god! Don't pick it up! Don't pick it up! Don't pick it up!
Good news.
Good news.
Don't pick it up!
Where is it?
Okay, okay. Here it is.